So I've started another album because what else am I going to do? A million things. I am doing a million things. But I'm also doing an album. So yeah, I'm going to do readings for the next little while. Um, Maybe do a few music things here and there, but for the most part, just stories while I'm working on my album and everything else I have going on in my life. Anyways, do you like my new hair? So this is my all-time favorite character I've ever written that I'm going to introduce in this next chapter. I based her off of every aspect of girls that I can't stand. I took all the girls that I just could not stand and combined them into one person, and now I would die for her. Lannis of Sierra. At the breakfast table in the dinner hall, I meet two pretty girls who greet me pleasantly. One girl has fair hair hiding small streaks of dark within it, and cheerful blue eyes. The other, the older one, has brown hair and hazel eyes. Lannis, the younger, yellow-haired sister, is friendly and does not stop asking me questions, wide-eyed to hear my replies. What is the palace like? Fair girl, I am but a messenger. I do not live in the palace. I only see it when I am called upon to deliver a message, I reply. But you certainly know more than me, she pleads. I smile at her attentions. Much like this fine castle you reside in, merely bigger with more servants and people living in it, I reply. Have you seen Princess Chimera? She asks. Her sister glances quickly at Lannis with a shadow in her eye, then looks away. I have seen the princess few times, but she certainly is pretty, I say, keeping with my lie astoundingly. I heard she is the most beautiful girl in all of Tarlin. Is that true? Asks Lannis. I smile again at her from across from me in the midst of a bite of bread. She is beautiful, yes, but young. The last time I saw her was several months ago in Whitestone. I do not believe she has quite blossomed. Lannis gets a strange look in her eye. I heard she has many suitors. Do you think she will allow any to court her soon? I stop myself before I offer my opinion, remembering I am a messenger, not Prince Armand to these people. The love lives of royalty I can hardly understand. I would refer to a young woman such as yourself for such a prediction. I heard a description of her saying she was no more beautiful than anyone else, just rich, which is why she has so many suitors, says the eldest, Meriden, coldly. I wonder why Meriden considers Chimera such a distasteful subject. Lannis rolls her eyes. Meriden is just angry because Sir Arcanon... Lannis! Meriden scolds. Lannis rolls her eyes and swallows down a big bite of buttered bread. She smiles at me, playfully. So, Meriden is in love with Sir Arcanon, Lord Antaragon's son. Makes sense, as he would be the only decent man for her status. Obviously, Meriden dislikes Chimera because Arcanon went to see Chimera. Oh, the foolish grudges of women. If Chimera had accepted Sir Arcanon, then Meriden would never stand a chance. Meriden is certainly a pretty girl, but in no wise can she compete with Chimera. Tell us of news of General Raelif and Mercy, says Meriden. Yes, tell us what General Raelif's personal letter says, Lannis giggles. I'm afraid I cannot. I do not even know myself, for the letter is sealed, and I would lose my job if the seal were at all tampered with before it reached Carafe. Lannis pouts, and this time Meriden rolls her eyes. When I was there, the city was in mourning for the loss of Princess Nadia, the royal family especially, I say. Except for Chimera, Lannis giggles. I force a smile. What of Prince Armand? Meriden asks loudly over Lannis's giggles. I shrug. No one hears from him. I heard he left for Bellarn to grieve privately. That must be awful for him, losing both his parents, says Lannis with a surprisingly sad expression on her face. Well, he has lots of other family to make up for it, says Meriden carelessly. But losing both his parents... Lannis says, almost to herself. I can't help but find the girl endearing. It's tempting to tell her some of my true feelings on the subject, but I don't think I could keep up my guise very long if I allowed my guard down even for a moment. Swallowing my feelings down, I try to enjoy the smiles of the pleasant-tempered girl. Her company is truly a good diversion from my own moody thoughts and cold meals in the forest. After breakfast, I go to the stables and pack and saddle Drano. My thoughts are cheerful. I was given a direct and easy route up the mountain to Karaf's outpost with a map to show me my path. Strangely, I find myself liking Sira and the family that lives there despite knowing it is a corrupt place. I mount Drano and urge him on. The city is built directly against the mountain, apparently to keep landslides from reaching the valley. So it is not long before Drano and I leave the pleasant grasslands of the city and start picking our way through rough fallen stones littering the trail. I have never ridden up a steep mountain trail before, so I trust that Drano knows how to keep his footing, and I allow him to lead. Before I get even a mile away from the city, a girl steps out in front of me from behind a bush. Lannis? I exclaim. Shaden. She smiles. What are you doing here? She smiles. I'm coming with you. She tugs at the reins of a mare that was also behind the bush, so that it stands directly in my path. Why? I ask, my mind racing on what I could have told her to make her believe that she was going with me up the mountain. Well, Father never lets me go up the mountain because he thinks it's dangerous, so if I went with you, then it wouldn't be dangerous. Lannis, you can't disobey your father. Besides, I have business with Karaf. Lannis widens her eyes and bites her frowning lip. But I never get to go anywhere, do anything, or see anybody. She begins to work up some tears. Meriden has the only fun around here with Arcanon, and I'm so lonely. I sigh, unsure what to do. I rein my horse forward, but she blocks my way. Please let me go, she begs. The road is long, nearly 2 days. You can come with me, but promise to leave before it gets dark, I say. She brightens. I promise. I pass her, and she follows behind me closely on the pebbly road. While we ascend, she talks incessantly about whatever limited gossip Nahan might provide her with. Meriden and Arcanon have been sweethearts since they were children. Since Lord Antaragon ordered him to go see Chimera, he hasn't been the same. Meriden has done everything to get him back, but they say he was smitten by Chimera, she says. She even had sex with him, she says in a loud whisper and then giggles. I'm not allowed to tell anyone, but I can trust you. I wonder how many other perfect strangers she has dished this secret to. Father isn't himself either. Lord Antaragon has been visiting a lot, and that always puts him off. He was supposed to come today. I listen, more interested, hoping she may give some dirt on Antaragon I can report to Rilith. Nobody likes him, not even his son. Meriden hopes he'll die soon, so Sir Arcanon will take his place. As long as Arcanon doesn't end up like his father. Meriden says he won't, but I think he will. Mother speaks highly of him too, but I don't like him. He isn't nice to me, and since he came back, he hasn't been nice to Meriden either. And so she continues on an endless strain of tales with entirely useless information. Though I admit I enjoy her talking perhaps a little more than the silence I had when I was alone. One day listening to her is more than enough for me. Shaden, what is down that road? She asks me, changing the subject of her endless strain of gossip. I humor her by pulling out the map and glancing at it. It is only an old mining road that leads to a deserted mine. A deserted mine? Her eyes sparkle. She really does not get out much at all if a deserted mine sparks her interest. Can we explore it? Please? I consider the last time she used that word and wonder if I have a choice. If I took her down the road, showed her how boring a deserted mine is, and then took her back, I could send her home afterwards. We have not hit any of the treacherous paths yet, so if we waste a little time here, I can send her home before we get to them. Please, she pleads again. Very well, but you must do exactly as I say. This road has been deserted a long time. There could be fallen rocks or loose dirt from rainfall. She smiles, as she did before when she got her way. I promise. Slowly, we attempt the narrow pathway. I watch for deadfall or boulders blocking our path, but, surprisingly, the trail is clean. As we continue, the pathways grow wider, making it possible for both our horses to walk side by side. My curiosity is growing, but I keep it to myself as Lannis tells me about her mother and sister's hairstyles. The road continues for nearly 2 hours wide. 2 hours, wide and perfectly clean. My senses go on alert, and I can feel goosebumps rising on my arm. I slow down, anticipating some sort of danger down this slow declining road. I hear a sound, a scream, a moan, perhaps both. Lannis carries on, hearing nothing. Lannis, I need you to be silent, I say in a low but firm tone. She pouts. No, Lannis, I think there's something up ahead. I don't know if it's safe. She bites her lip. Slowly we creep forward. The sounds are getting closer. It sounds like someone is crying, says Lannis. Hush. It does. It sounds like more than just someone is crying. I hear many voices, some harsh, some soft, but none are cheerful. I dismount and tie Reno's reins to an outcropping bush. Lannis follows my lead. Maybe you should wait here until I come back so I can check if it's safe. And what if someone comes by and finds me here alone with the 2 horses? She says. I pause for a moment. Lannis is smarter than she seems. I motion for her to follow me quietly. Hand in hand, we creep forward. I take her off the road and up the mountain so that we can still see the road, but no one on it would suspect us nearby. The sound's getting closer and closer. Lannis trips a few times on loose stones, but I grab onto a bush and hold her steady. We reach a large outcropping of trees growing on the side of the mountain. Using the ominous voices as our guides, we pass from tree to tree. I glance behind me to see her face twisted in concern. Are you all right, Lannis? I whisper. Whatever is behind those trees. She trails off. Yes? This place is where I live, Shaden. You don't understand. I try to think for a moment what she's trying to say. What do you think is there? She shudders, but remains speechless. I continue to lead us through the trees, my thoughts clouded, but my curiosity burning. She yanks me back. What? Look down, she whispers fiercely. I look down to see a sheer drop below. My heart pounds loudly. I step back to regain myself. Lannis creeps forward to the edge and looks down herself. Concerned, I go to the edge and take her arm to steady both of us. I look down. What I see, I have heard described before in a story my Aunt Mercy told me, but nothing she could have said would have prepared me for this moment. Hundreds of men and boys trudge in and out of a vast cave below us, carrying loads of dirt and stone on their backs, or shovels and axes. There are men with switches standing around shouting orders, and there are boys as young as 10, sifting through the dirt and stones to find anything of value. The whole scene is hidden by trees all around them. No wonder that coward Lord Sira gave me a direct map to Karath. He did not want me stumbling into this. I turn to Lannis, who is pale as death. Standing up, I half drag, half carry her away from the ledge. Thank you.